Alright, so now I'm going to be reviewing to you Awkward Season 3, Episode 16, called, Less Than Hero. Now, the reason that the other video wasn't so long is because I didn't have much to say about it, but this episode, in my opinion, was the best episode of the season. There was so much conflict going on. Jenna got herself into a really bad situation, and we kind of saw more of what's starting to go on with Jenna and everything. And she really, this episode, I was on the point where I'm just like, you need to go. This is going to be the episode where she realizes it. Because I knew they were doing a 2-episode thing. I thought right away, maybe the reason they're doing 2 episodes is because they want us to see that, somewhere in those 2 episodes, she's going to finally realize what mistakes she has made. And that's exactly what ended up happening. But before this, we get a whole thing of her basically talking about how she's really mad at Valerie and she doesn't really want the help or anything. And she's ready to give her paper to her English teacher. And basically he says, I'm not publishing this. And she says, no, I'm not leaving this room until you publish it. And she asks him why. It turns out he thinks it's just way too offensive and it's going to get Valerie fired and he does not want to do that. And, I really like this kind of struggle here that, she wanted to send this paper and that's exactly what she wanted to do. So, yeah, we know that she's going to sign this, that she wants to do this paper and everything. Valerie ends up calling Lacey, and, she tells Lacey, Jenna's heading down a really bad road. We really need to find a way to stop her. I've tried to stop her, but she slammed the door in my face. So what can we do to help her? And Lacey suggests to put together this group this support group to help Jenna with her problems. And I thought this scene was hilarious because Aunt Allie was the leader of the group and it was really funny. Clearly though, of course, we knew this was not going to work. Jenna's just really upset about this. She seems like she understands what she's talking about, but then she's like, you know what, just leave me alone. I don't want your help. And in her fury and everything, she just gets really, really pissed off. She ends up sending the letter. She basically, the English teacher sends her a letter, and he says, what do you want to do about the letter? And she just says, publish it. That's all she says. She says, publish it. And, so now he's going to publish the whole thing about Valerie, and this is not good. Valerie was trying to help her in this episode. I think legitimately Valerie does care about her, and I think what's so upsetting is that Jenna thinks that Valerie's the one who's causing all this, and really it's just that Valerie's trying to help her, because at this point nobody knows how to help Jenna. She's just gone such a bad road that nobody really knows how to help her out. They want to, they just don't know how. That's the problem. They don't know how to help her. Eventually, though, it gets pretty crazy. She ends up, her parents want to, her mother still wants to talk to her because her mother thinks maybe I could pull her out of it somehow. And what ends up happening is that she literally again, is disobeying her mother. She's being very disrespectful to her. And she's basically saying, why should I be disrespectful for you? Why should I be respectful of you? You're just as young as I am or something like that. She said some really cruel things that was happening, that she was doing to her mother. And, she walks out on her mother, literally. And, she literally just, walks out when her mother wants to talk to her. This really reminded me of, Season 2, Once Upon a Blog, when Jenna was kind of having those fantasies of her as a bitch. Which is exactly what she's become. It is. It's exactly what she has become. So, she's about to go down for dinner and everything. We see her call Collin and everything. He wants to take her to this party, very bad, unsupervised club and everything. She's ready to go. Her parents say, hey, there's a plate set for you. And I really love this next scene. I thought this scene was fantastic, the way it was executed. I loved it. By the way, there was not as much Sadie in this episode, which was not a problem because I thought the whole episode as a whole was fantastic and phenomenal. But, her mother just gets to the point where she's like, you know what, I'm tired of this attitude and you're not leaving. And basically she says, you leave, do not come back to this house. We do not want you here. You're not welcome in our house if you leave that door. And Jenna does exactly what her mother tells her not to do. She leaves the house and, Lacey is actually crushed. But, Kevin basically tells her that, we need to give Jenna tough love. We need to teach her tough love and everything. And I really love that scene because you really saw that Lacey really doesn't want to do this, but they have to because they don't know any other way to pull her out of this. And I think that that's just It's really big what was going on there, definitely. I just thought it was really big. Eventually, though, Jenna gets to the party, and this is where the episode just gets really, really dark. By far, this was the darkest part of the episode. It was also one of the craziest things I think we've ever had in an episode of Awkward. It was crazy. He takes her to this party. We find out that he's also invited his ex-girlfriend, he's also invited her, Angelique, and, it seems that everything's okay between them. It seems that, Jenna's a little awkward. Jenna feels a little awkward about her being there and everything. She thinks, oh, it's a little strange that she's here. But overall, it seems like it's going to be okay. Then things get very crazy. Collin is ready to give both of them ecstasy because Jenna's doing all these other drugs. He thinks, hey, why don't I try ecstasy? She thinks, well, hey, why don't I try ecstasy? He is about to put the ecstasy in her hand, and she says, I'm sorry, I have to go to the bathroom, I can't do this. She uses it as an excuse because she's not ready for ecstasy. She's just not ready for that type of drug. She talks to Angelique. Angelique's like, I know what you're doing and everything. She says, oh, and I'm sorry, but I put the ecstasy in your drink. I'm really sorry about that if that was a problem for you. And I was like, what the, hello? You put the ecstasy in her drink, she's gonna get high. Now, I predicted exactly what happened next. I predicted, and I'm like, there's gonna be a threesome. Jenna's gonna be involved in the threesome, and that's what's gonna happen. That's exactly what happens. As soon as they start talking, just Collin and Angelique are extremely high on ecstasy. Jenna's starting to get, like, weird hallucinations because of the ecstasy, basically. And that's the reaction she has. Different people have different hallucinations, and I like how they showed that in this episode. That basically, when someone takes a drug, they have different side effects that they've had. That's why I will never take a drug, because I don't want any side effects. I will never take any sort of illegal drug ever. It's just not a good idea. But what ends up happening here is that she goes to, they're really, really high and everything, and Angelique literally grabs her leg and she just starts making out with Jenna. Jenna's really turned off by this, and she leaves immediately because she's not comfortable with what she's involved in. That's what it is. She's not comfortable. And this is when we finally start to see Jenna realize, I need to turn my life around. And this was a really heartbreaking scene. It really was, because she's trying to find someone to call, and she said, I can't call my parents, I can't call my friends. There's one other person. It was not who I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be just somebody, like, really big, like Sadie or something like that. Turns out it's Matty. Matty was the person she called. And I was so happy, guys. I'm like, yes, she called Matty. She's finally starting to realize it. And that's what happens. She's starting to realize that she has done this to herself. And, here's the big, and, so Matty takes her home, and he's really, like, he pulls her up to her house, and he says, is there anything else you'd like me to do? And she says, can you hold me? And that's what he does, and she says, thank you for being my hero. And he says, that's everything I've ever wanted to be, and then that's how the episode ended. So yeah, we were left on a cliffhanger between, where Matty and Jenna stand, but I definitely think that they're going to get back together. I do think that's what's going to happen. Because it seems that Jenna's realizing what she has done is wrong, and that she should not have done what she did, and that she just should not have gone to that party with Collin. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens from here, because we have a couple questions now. The big question is, what happened with Collin at that party with Angelique? What happened? Did they make out? Did they have sex? Did they sleep together? What happened? I'm assuming that they had sex because, he was kissing her really hard and they looked like they were about to get, like, really intimate and everything. So I'm assuming that they slept together, and I think they did this just to show us that Collin is not good for Jenna. He is a douchebag. He's not a good person at all. He's a horrible person for her. And he was acting like he was a nice person. Literally just, I think he wanted sex. That's all it was. He did it all for the sex. But, that's not the only thing going on in this episode, surprisingly. There was a really good subplot between Tamara and Jake, and I really like this subplot. Pretty much the subplot was that, Tamara basically wants Jake to run for, class president. He always runs for it, But she ends up wanting him to go bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And she says, no, fix that, fix that, fix that, and everything. And he says, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of you trying to tell me how to be a better boyfriend for you. I can't do it anymore, and I'm really upset. And I honestly was, like, so upset. I do not want Jake and Tamara to break up. It wasn't a huge part of the episode, but I really would like it if they don't break up because they are by far the best couple on this show right now. They're the only couple on this show besides Ming and Fred. We haven't seen them in a while. We've seen Ming, but not Fred. And it was really just upsetting to see them go through this, but I like that they didn't really break up in there and anything. I do think they're going to be able to get through this. And really, I mean, couples have fights like this, and I think that Tamara can be controlling. And we saw that in the mid-season finale, and I think they started that then. And they're going to have these little fights now and then. I just hope it doesn't lead to them breaking up. I really would like for them to not break up. I'd like them to remain friends. If that's what I mean, not just, I would like them to remain a relationship because I love them together. I think they're great together. But that was basically the episode. And I definitely think that this was a much stronger episode. The other big thing is that Jenna is publishing. It looks like next week she's going to try to fix everything. And it's going to be like way too late. She's going to try to fix her friendships with Tamara and Ming. She's going to try to get back together with Matty. And she's going to try to stop getting this article from being published. She wants to stop it from being published so that way Valerie is not fired. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think she's going to stop it from being published? What do you think Collin did with Angelique? What do you think happened there? And also, do you think she'll be able to get her friends back, or are they gone forever? What do you think? I don't think they're gone forever, but what do you guys think? Also, Awkward was picked up for another 10 episodes, so next season will also be 20 episodes, which I'm really excited about. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that the first video wasn't so long, but this one was a lot longer. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.